And welcome to the Hired Gun Podcast with your host, the Hired Gun. First, like, subscribe, share. How you doing, y'all? So, this is the 100th episode. And hold on. So, we're on the road to 150 now. Alright? We're on the road to that. We're still on the road to 100 subscribers. You know, but we finna get there. And I'm on a Tuesday, y'all. On a Tuesday, you know. Um, and I won't be on tomorrow. It's not happening. Not happening. Give me time to talk about NXT and AEW. Say TNA. Tasha still resigned with TNA, which they're gonna have their wrestlers. And this is not a whole TNA episode, so don't worry, y'all. I mean, I like TNA, so it's not a knock. I'm just saying. But Tasha still signed back with I mean, with uh, Tasha still signed back with TNA, right? And they're gonna have their stars that resign back because of the fact that they're not going anywhere else. Like Tasha still is with um that group. She's in Ali's group, and she's there. I mean not there, but she gets used. Like she gets used, and if she went to WWE or AEW, she wouldn't get used how she get used now. Like Tasha still would probably go to NXT and WWE. It'd be an upgrade because Tasha still was told to be a referee back in the day, and she uh decided to I'm gonna stick to my guns and push for my goals and go somewhere else and be a wrestler. And she has, and she's done very well for herself in TNA. She has, um, because look at Steve Macklin. The rumor has it, and he would be. The rumor has it that he is a good fit for NXT. And that's what they said. So, and if he went to AEW, they just put him in RH. Same thing. Same thing. It's his RH is on your YouTube. Like they would just put him with his wife, and then dust them off when they want to use them on the main roster to job or somebody. So some wrestlers in team they need to be careful about wanting more and pushing for more and not happy with the creative team and all this good shit, right? Because it could be worse. And this is not a knock on Steve Mackin or Tasha Still. Steve Mackin's gone. He's gone from TNA, and now we're going to see what he's worth. And Tasha Still knows she knows her worth, and that's not saying she can't go somewhere else and make a name for herself, but she's happy where she at. You know, because again, back in the day, they told her to be a wrestler. That was the same thing that happened with what's her name? She's with AEW right now. She's on Busted Open podcast. Especially the Busted Open podcast. I can't remember her name, and maybe if it comes to me, I see her name. But speaking of Busted Open podcast, I gotta give Bubba Ray props. I do. I gotta give him props because of the fact that he he said something that I should have said a long time ago. He said something that let's see, the rest is angry. We're just talking about Avery. Okay. Um, he said something that I should have said too about Jade. I gotta get Jade. Well, he said that that you gotta give Jade props for uh gutting out that match she had on Friday after she lost her wig. All right, and you know what? Ryan said something the other day. I was at a store and we were talking, and he said that why would I bring up the weird stuff and then say how she was wrestling and everything, which is true. Both things are true here. I shouldn't have brought that. I shouldn't have brought up how she was wrestling. Now I think I did say uh, she was still wrestling in slow motion before that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are both right here. She needs to be given props and not made fun of for her losing her wig and how she looks without her wig. She's wrong for that. I'm wrong for that. So yeah. So what she should get major props for staying in this match and doing what she was doing and finishing the match because of the fact that here's the thing. She was on the Joe Blunt podcast and she said her biggest fear is to lose her wig because if she lost her wig she would run out of there. Right? And I'm quite sure she wanted to run out of there when it happened. But she didn't, you know, and she gutted it out and she finished the match. And much props to her. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure she wanted to run the fuck out of there. You know? Pretty sure she wanted to run the fuck out of there. Um okay. So let me so let's talk about Raw. So let me get two shout outs out the way right quick for it too. So my homeboy Pat. Now Pat has been a fan of the podcast for a minute now. Like he was giving me props and saying something in the comments way before anybody else was. You know. So I'm gonna shout him out and say that he says that now, Ryan, I'm getting you because we're just leading into that too. So Pat said that the ruler, king of the ruler, sounds good. Sounds real good, and it does. And what Ryan proposed to me the other day, the idea, and I had to open my mind. Alright, about over winning King of the Ring and facing Roman at SummerSlam. Now, uh, him saying that opens up has to be thought about now. It opens up from like for me it was 2% to now it's being like 45% that could happen. Hell, I want to say this. What if Over wins King of the Ring and he fights both his niggas at SummerSlam? What if he fights Brock? Nah, it's a what if. What if? What if he fights Brock first? Beats Brock, and then that same night he fights the next night. Cause it is a 2 night event. The next night he fights Roman. That could happen. That could happen. But 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 Ryan did say that Owen can win the tournament and then he can fight Roman. Right? And that's on the table now. It is. It's definitely on the table. What else did my homeboy Pat say? He said he told me that Owen doesn't need money in the bank, which he doesn't. He doesn't need money in the bank. Um, he also said that Talkner said this too, that he should win in that mania. Now he also said that they can pull the trigger and make him win it sooner, which is true. It's true. So and the reason why Ryan's uh, opinion, not opinion, idea is more open because Open won last night. Nah, nah. Raw was okay. What messed up Raw is they had a lot of promos. They had a lot of promos, and and I I get it because I am the sole believer of if we got Roman there, use him. Don't just use him for the beginning and that's it. And they didn't. They used this was like when they used this is like when they used Judgment Day. Oh, when they did use Judgment Day. This was just like that. Like there was a lot of statements from the bloodline. Like a lot. In the beginning, in the middle, and the end, not the end, but like in the beginning, the middle, somewhere in the end. Um, they were spread all around this episode. If it wasn't Roman, it was the Usos. If it wasn't the Usos, it was Jacob. Right? Like they were spread all around this episode, which you should do. They are your main. Um, they are your main attraction on this show. And now, Jake, I don't know about the Usos. No. I do know. The Usos and Jacob are going to be on SmackDown this week. They are. There's no question about that. They are. Because Roman told Jacob to do something, um, and told him to hear, and they got to do something with Solo. Has to be something with Solo. Has to be. Has to be. Um, but then like like uh the only knock I got on the episode is the fact that yes, you did what I told you should do, but in an hour and 45 minutes there was only 2 matches that was done. Two, two. No wait. Hold on. In an hour and what did he say? Hold on. So an hour and 45 minutes. There was only 2 matches. Two. Two. Okay? And 2 matches was uh Io versus Raquel, and who was up in this? Io and Raquel. It wasn't Charlotte in Roxanne. It was Io and Raquel, and was it was it Chad and Rusev? Nah, nah. I'm not sure what the other match was, but we had in the show we had Chad versus Rusev, which was a good match. All right, we had which is match of the night. All right, Chad versus Rusev. We had Io versus um, Raquel. We had Charlotte versus um, Roxanne. We had Javon Evans versus Austin Theory, and then we had Dom versus Oprah. So listen. At the end, we got more matches, right? We did, and I think how they spread it out like this here is because the Dom and Over wasn't gonna go that long. Like Over beat Dom in less than 5 minutes, and it goes back to the Judgment Day needs to be at least on Raw. The Judgment Day needs to end. It does. It has to. They don't have any muscle besides Raquel, right? Right. Besides her, right? There's no man muscle on there. Like it wasn't any when Finn was there, right? Right. But at least when they was at full capacity and they had Carlito and they had Damian Priest, right? Right. You had muscle there. Like there's no muscle now. Now even with Finn being there, there was still no muscle, right? Right. But there's no Finn, so now the only two men in that group is Dom and JD. That's it. That's it. No one else. There's no one else in that group. Alright, and then so like them fighting over because it was a handicap pretty much, and over still destroy both of them boys because Dom and JD are the same height, almost the same height, and same weight. Most of the weight, most of the weight is in JD's head, you know. But yeah, yeah. So the things I liked about this match is the the use the use of the bloodline through the show. And some people might be sick of the bloodline. Right? I would tell those people to just shut the fuck up and just stop watching. Just stop. Like it's gonna be here. Just shut the fuck up and just watch. It's been going on for almost 2 to 3 years now, 4 years now. Right? It ain't going nowhere. And it's not a knock. It was the best thing going. It still is. Like it is. Until they come up with something else. You know? But like now and I do agree with what Sheamus and MVP said about they could do bloodlines with other stuff. Yeah, because you have had uh, other talent that you could have used the same way in different bloodlines and stories, but you just chose not to do that. You know, because you just want to focus on one bloodline. And Roman brought up their bloodline and how it's been there all the time. which is true. It has. It definitely has been there all the time. It's something that we can't not acknowledge. Speaking of acknowledge, man, you know, last night, Roman, the first statement of the night with the bloodline, well, and maybe the strongest statement too. He he acknowledged everybody in the bloodline. He also acknowledges his whole family from back in the past, and he named everybody besides The Rock. And some people are looking too deep into that. I really do think we're thinking too deep into this situation. Unless The Rock wrestles at WrestleMania. Unless he wrestles at WrestleMania, and we get Roman versus The Rock. Could be a thing. But if that doesn't happen, we just looking too deep into it. Then, all right, and we shouldn't, because of the fact that we shouldn't we shouldn't hope and pray and put our eggs in one basket, hoping the Rock wrestles at Saudi. He may, because Saudi gonna throw out money out there. So they probably want that to happen. Um, but we'll see about that. And then Roman, he boy, he gassed up Jimmy, and he gassed up Jimmy the most because he has to. And the funny part about this now, before this episode happened, and this statement happened, me, Carlton, me and Carlton. Well, I mean, hold on. Ryan said some stuff in here, and Josh brought up the topic. He brought up the topic, but this is me, like the main culprits here with me and Carlton, because we were going back and forth on this about Jay and LA Knight. Okay, and Jimmy got brought up, and so Roman gaslighting Jimmy was just funny to me. So we brought this shit up. So the topic was who was a better worker out of LA Knight and Jay Uso. Right? And what it comes down to, because you can't put it on what we think is a workhorse, in our opinion, because that wouldn't matter. Because then it wouldn't matter, because neither one of these niggas fit that quota. Then they just don't. Like we can't say they fit that quota, because of the fact that a workhorse is not. Maybe when Jay first got by himself, you can call him a workhorse, because he was trying to earn and wrestle and put in the work and lose weight and tone up and get his mic skills a little bit better, and trying to put on quality matches. No matter what people say, he was trying. Right? So maybe then you could say Jay was a workhorse. Not now, because the work has been done. The work has been done now. Well, when I say what I'm about to say about Jay and his promos, right? The promo he did last night on a commercial break, because not everybody's seen this promo, okay? Because it wasn't for everybody. All right. The only reason I know about this is because it's on Twitter and it's on Instagram, right, and Facebook. That he did a promo. The promo he did last night was good. Very, very good. It's better than anything LA Knight did last night. Alright? Alright. But when it comes to LA Knight and Jey Uso, the only thing LA Knight does better than Jey Uso is promo. That is it. And it's, I say that, right? But anytime LA Knight gets in there and gets on the mic with somebody who can promo with him or is better with him, he fucks up his promos. He does. But anytime he's in the big lights on the mic or in the ring, he fucks up. He fucks up. You know, and then we bring up LA Knight's age, and you know, Carson brought up last night that why do we bring up his age? Like he's way older than uh, both people. I mean, like certain people, like he's way older than Roman, like he's way older than Jay. I think Carson said that LA Knight was 43. So alright, so Roman's 39 or 38, something like that, right? And Jay's 40. So I looked this up for Jay. So I know how old he is. And LA Knight's 43. So, and I said that LA Knight's too old to be trusted with the main too old to be trusted with being the main eventer, winning the belt. Because the fact that, let's say LA Knight won that belt, the ratings would spike for like 2 weeks, and then he will get the Kofi Kingston treatment. They just stop watching. They just stop caring. And you know, some would say it would be better for Jay to win it, the whole thing. So niggas to hate watch. So when you hate watch, you watch longer, so you can hate. Make sense? Does that make sense? Like, if you give people what they want, like for 2 weeks, they'll watch and they'll be happy about it, right? And then they'll stop watching because they got what they wanted. But if you give them something that they really don't want or they tired of, they'll hate watch and they'll watch longer. Just to see this is a bitch about the match or how they being used or waiting for them to lose. Or this is a bitch about a match they had. Right? Right? Like it makes sense for them to do it the other way. But what it comes down to, and this is what matters here. What it comes down to is Jay is more marketable than LA Knight, and it's the truth. And when you think about it, because the only thing that LA Knight has is Slim Jim, right? And when you think about it, Jay already has Slim Jim in the commercial. Jay's in cell phone commercials more than one. I might add. Like he's in the juice commercials. He's in ice cream commercials. He's in other sponsorships. Like he's in all that stuff. And LA Knight's not. Like Jay sells more merch, but and like Carter said, because Jay has more stuff. But yes, Jay has more stuff because of the fact that people want to buy more of his stuff. Like him, Roman, and The Rock can sell merch for years, for days, for decades, because of the fact that they can come up with new stuff. The only thing Roman got over Jay is Jordans. Roman came out with Jordans. Okay? And I'm not saying Jay won't. I won't. I'm not. If Jay wins another world title or a WWE title, because like where we at right now, Jay's getting in the fucking finals. Okay, Jay's getting in the fucking finals, right? And Jay might win the fucking final. Okay, because I'm 30 minutes in. I'm not done yet, y'all. I'm not done talking. Like I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. All right, Jay might win the fucking final because even though Over should win, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I said it when he was facing Dom, and I said it like the whole tournament. Over should win. All right, and like I said before, this opens up. This opens up with Dom. I mean not Dom. I oh yeah. With Dom losing, this opens up what Ryan said to happen a whole lot more. Like it's not like it is not a what if now. No. We're past 2%. We're at 45%. Like damn near 50. All right, with this here, oh, we can win this whole thing now. Okay, but but Over keeps bringing up Brock, and when he wins, he's still bringing up fucking Brock. Like they put the mic in his hand every time, and he brings up Brock. And Over even said, "I thought you was gonna show up tonight. I thought she was gonna show up tonight." Now, hear me out here. There is a world, there is a universe that has Over still winning, right? Even if Brock shows the fuck up and does some stuff to Over, there's a universe that Over still fucking wins that fucking tournament afterwards. Because it all depends on what they do. Alright, if they beat up, if Brock beats up Over before the match, before the fucking match, right? And Over says, "I'm still gonna wrestle," right? There's a universe that Over still beats Jay, alright? But let's say he don't, right? And let's say Jay wins, alright? Jay is gonna fight Cody. No, well, there is another universe that Jay gets so mad of how Roman's treating Jacob over him. But he gets mad and then he chooses to fight Roman instead. Because last night it gave you so many goose eggs on what can happen. You can see Jacob Jacob and the Usos turning on Roman at one point. Right? You can see Jay going on his own because he don't Jay and Jimmy going on his own because how Roman's treating Jacob in a good way for Jacob, not a bad way, like in a good way. And let me go back to LA Knight right quick. And I'm not saying when I say this, I'm not saying that he's him, right? Right? I'm not saying that. But last night, when LA Knight did his promo to Jay, he was trying to be Austin, or like Stone Cold Steve Austin in this promo. He really was. And I know people, not everybody, but some people see. I know a lot of people see The Rock, and in LA Knight. All right, all right, and some people do see Stone Cold see Austin in him. Like, when it comes to his promos and how he talks and all that stuff. And you know what? It's a combination. It's a combination of both. Like, he's trying to be both. He's trying. Keyword is trying. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's good at it. I'm not saying any of that. Because I don't want people to think I'm saying that that's what he is. Alright? Alright? Because, me and Carlton went back and forth on this whole Ricky Saint back in there, like a couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, or last week. And, Carlton just don't see it. And all I'm trying to say is Ricky Saint's trying to be The Rock. And some people see that in him. And Tarkin just don't see it. He just don't. He's trying to. He just don't. And some of that has to do with Tarkin being a real big Rock fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of The Rock. I'm not a fan of Austin. Alright, this is why I'm not a fan. This is probably why I'm not a fan of Ricky Saint. I'm not a fan of LA Knight. This is not. I'm not. The closest thing to me being a fan of anything like that is Trick. And even then, I think Trick is more like Booker T. I do. But, oh, let me talk about somebody else very quick before I go. Javon Evans got proposed to join the Vision last night. He said no, right? He might join the Vision because lately, not last night, but lately he's been more. Javon Evans has been more heelish type of stuff. Like even when he won it last week, right? He showed some heelish shit last week too when he won, on Twitter, right? And then 2 weeks ago when he lost his IC title opportunity, right? He shoved Penta's hand out the way. He apologized afterwards, like backstage, but he's been showing more healing shit lately. So even though he said no, and they were going to beat him down afterwards, and Ron did the most beautiful spear last night with Javon and that cutter. When Javon was going to hit that cutter, oh man, it was so pretty. It was so pretty. That spear. I think it's time to lay. I think it's time to say that Braun Breaker has the best spear. The best spear right now. I think it's time to put that out there. I really do think that. I really do think it's time to acknowledge that as the best spear in the game. Probably ever. Right? I think it's time we acknowledge that and understand that. So, before I go, Ryan came up. Now, he did bring up the idea, and I've been thinking about this idea for a minute now. So, going forward, what I'm probably gonna do is Sunday. All right, I won't come on Saturday. I won't come on Saturday, but Sunday I will have an episode of a full recap of the week. Now, I don't know how long this episode don't be, because the longest I've ever done is 50 minutes. So we finna see. But Sunday episode episodes will be a full recap of what happened during the week and stuff I haven't talked about going forward. Okay, so I'm gonna put that out there now. But like I said, Raw was okay, and uh, the wrestling got the matches got more into like more. They added more wrestling in what they should, and like I said, I think it got spread out that way because they knew that the Over and Don match wasn't going that long. It just wasn't. Now, like I said before, it all depends on who wins out of Over, not Over, Jay and Javon on Friday. Cause that matters. That matters here. That really matters here because of the fact that if Jay wins, now we have a topic of discussion here. Because if does the bloodline help Jay win? No, well, not help him win. Do they interfere? Because as of right now, Friday, Jimmy didn't help him. Jimmy didn't help him. No. This Friday, does Jay beat Javon by himself? Because now I think all bets are off with the no interference from the bloodline. Because now Roman can tell Jacob to do anything now. And Roman don't got to be there for it. Right? Right. And then there's no way that the bloodline does not help Jay try to there's no way that the bloodline does not try to help Jay win against Over. Because Jay ain't being over by himself. That's not happening. Jay can talk as bad as he want to talk. Right? Alright? If Jay not beating over by himself, that's not happening. That's not happening. Like, Jay's not being over without no interference. Because then we're gonna get the same case we got last night with Dom. And Dom had help. I mean, Brock Lesnar interfered in this match. Like there's no and even then Jay might still lose. Because then they're gonna give Jay something. If Jay pins Brock, I mean not Brock. If Jay pins Over, you ever realize that there's something that Jay can put in Roman's face, pause, and say, I did something that you didn't do. And I beat Over. Because when Over and Roman fight, Roman's not winning. Unless Roman does the same thing he did to Cody and say, hey, you know what would be better? If I beat him first. And then he beats me later on. So that's what happened with Cody. Like the first time they wrestled. The first time they wrestled, the plan was for Cody to win, and then Roman had an idea to have him beat Cody first, and then they do another years, and they had Cody beat him the next time, and that's what happened. It almost didn't happen because of the whole Rock thing. Fuck when Nick Khan says, "Oh, it was always a plan." No, it wasn't. It wasn't always a plan, you know. So that's something that we gotta think about. That's something that we gotta think about. But I'm gonna end the show with that. Make sure you gotta like, subscribe, share. Make sure you gotta watch wrestling. Make sure you gotta watch E-Feds, New Breed. Make sure you guys be safe out there. Alright? This is the Hired Gun. God bless. Love you. I'm out.